I couldn't reach my daughter for 5 days. When I went to her house, I HEARD scratching under the BD chapter when the phone rang for the 7th time that morning. The sound drilled into my skull like a dentist's tool. I let it ring. I let it go to voicemail. I already knew what I would hear. The same recording. The same flat robotic voice telling me the subscriber was unavailable. Please try again later. I had been trying again for 5 days. 5 days of this. 5 days of calling my daughter and getting nothing back but silence. I sat at my kitchen table and stared at the rain running down the window. It had been raining since Thursday. A cold, miserable drizzle that turned the whole world gray. The kind of rain that seeps into your bones and makes you feel every hour of your age. I was 72. My knees ached. My hands shook when I tried to hold my coffee mug. But the shaking wasn't just from the weather. It was from fear. Sarah always answered. Always. That was just who she was. She was a good daughter. The best. She called me every Sunday night without fail. We would talk for an hour, sometimes longer. She would tell me about her cases at the law firm. She would tell me about her friends. She would ask about my GADN and my book club and whether I was eating properly. She was 34 years old, and she still worried about me like I was the child. Last Sunday, she didn't call. I waited by the phone until midnight. I told myself she got caught up at work. It happens sometimes. She was a lawyer. She had a demanding job. But she always texted. Always. Even when she couldn't talk, she sent a quick message. Running late. Call you tomorrow. Love you. Last Sunday there was no text. There was nothing. Monday I called her. Straight to voicemail. I left a message. I told her I was worried. I asked her to call me back. Tuesday I called again. Same thing. Wednesday I called 3 times. Nothing. Thursday I called Michael. My son. Sarah's older brother. He lived 3 states away with his wife and his twins. He was a good man, but he had his own life. His own chaos. I called him on Thursday, and I told him I was SCA. Mom, relax, he said. I could hear the kids screaming in the background. It was loud. Chaos. She probably just lost her phone. You know Sarah. She's always misplacing things. She doesn't misplace things, I said. She's organized. She's meticulous. She has a system for everything. She's human, Mom. She makes mistakes. Just give her a few days. She'll call. He hung up before I could argue. He had to go. The twins were fighting. His wife was yelling. His life was full. I understood. But understanding didn't stop the fear. Friday I called Sarah 10 times. I called her work number. Her receptionist answered. She told me Sarah hadn't been in all week. She was out sick. No one had heard from her. I called the police. They said she was an adult. They said she had the right to disappear if she wanted to. They said I should wait a few more days. They said I was probably overreacting. They didn't know Sarah. They didn't know that she would never just disappear. They didn't know that she was the kind of person who always left a light on. Who always called her mother. Who always thought of everyone else before herself. Saturday morning, I woke up at 4 a.m. I hadn't slept. I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. I saw her as a little girl. She was 5 years old, and she was having a nightmare. She was screaming in her room. I ran to her. I held her. She was shaking and crying, and she kept saying there was a monster under her bed. I looked under the bed. There was nothing there. I told her there was nothing there. I told her she was safe. I told her I would never let anything hurt her. She believed me. She trusted me. She fell back asleep in my arms. That was 30 hours ago. But I still felt like that same mother. I still felt that same primal need to protect her. And I couldn't shake the feeling that she was having another nightmare. And this time I wasn't there. I got dressed at 4:30. I put on my raincoat. I grabbed my keys. I was going to her house. I didn't see if it was still dark outside. I didn't see if the roads were slick. I was going. The drive took 45 minutes. The rain was relentless. Big heavy drops that slapped against my windshield and made it hard to see. I drove slow. I drove full. My hands were tight on the wheel. My knuckles were white. Her neighborhood looked different in the rain. gray and lifeless. All the houses looked the same. Beige siding. Neat lawns. Driveways with nice California RS. S.A. Ross' house was a small 2-bedroom. She bought it 2 years ago. She was proud of it. She worked so hard to afford it. She was independent. She was successful. She had built a life for herself. But the lights were all off. Every single one. That wasn't right. S.A. Ra always left a light on. Even when she wasn't home. She said it made her feel safer. She said it deterred burglars. She had a lamp in the living room that was on a timer. It turned on at dusk and turned off at dawn. It was off now. That meant she hadn't set the timer. That meant she hadn't been home for days. I parked in the driveway. I saw her car in the garage. I could see it through the small window on the garage door. Her Honda. Blue. Parked just where she always parked it. The car was there. She was supposed to be home. I walked up to the front door. The welcome mat was soaked. The porch was covered in puddles. I noticed the mail piled up in the box. It was overflowing. 3 days of mail at least. Maybe more. The newspaper was still in the driveway. It had been there so long it was falling apart from the rain. I knocked. No answer. I knocked harder. Still nothing. I pressed my face against the window next to the door. I could see inside the living room. The TV was off. The lamp was off. Everything was dark. But I saw a cup on the coffee table. It was still half full. Like she had just set it down and walked away. That was 5 days ago. I tried the door. It was locked. Of course it was locked. S.A. Ra was full. She always locked her doors. She always checked twice. But I couldn't go home. I couldn't wait anymore. Something was wrong. I could feel it in my bones. I walked around the house. The side gate was locked. I climbed over it. My knees screamed in protest. I didn't see a re. I landed hard on the other side. I stumbled. I almost fell. I caught myself on the fence. The backyard was small. Neat. A little patio with a table and chairs. A bird feeder. A garden S.A. Ra had tried to start but didn't have time for. Everything was overgrown now. Weeds everywhere. The back door was glass. I could see into the kitchen. The light was on in the kitchen. I could see the counter. There was a plate on it. Covered in flies. Rotting meat. Ground beef maybe. It was disgusting. The whole kitchen looked dirty. Unlived in. But the light was on. S.A. Ra wouldn't leave the light on if she wasn't home. She was too full. She would have turned it off. I tried the back door. Locked. I looked around for something to break the glass. There was a clay pot near the steps. Heavy. Full of dirt and dead flowers. I picked it up. It was heavier than I expected. I swung it at the glass. The noise was terrible. A loud explosion of sound. Glass sprayed everywhere. I reached through the broken pane. I unlocked the door. I stepped inside. The smell hit me first. The rotting meat. Something sour from the sink. Maybe old milk. And something else. Something I couldn't identify. A metallic smell. It made my stomach turn. I walked through the kitchen. The flies buzzed around the plate. I could see maggots crawling on the meat. I looked away. I walked into the living room. The TV was on. But it wasn't showing anything. Just static. Gray and white noise. The sound was awful. Hissing. Crackling. The remote was on the floor. The batteries were spilled out next to it. Something wasn't right. None of this was right. S.A. Ra was neat. She was organized. She would never leave a mess like this. She would never leave the TV on static. She would never leave food out to rot. I sta root to panic. My heart was beating too fast. My chest was tight. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I put my hand on the wall to steady myself. I took deep breaths. I counted to 10. I needed to find her. I needed to see her. I needed to make sure she was okay. I walked down the hallway. The walls had pictures. S.A. Ross graduation. A trip to the beach. Her and some man I didn't recognize. I sta read at the picture for a moment. I didn't know who he was. S.A. Ra hadn't mentioned a boyfriend. But I didn't know everything about her life. She was an adult. She had her privacy. I was about to call out her name again when I heard something. A sound. Faint. Coming from the end of the hallway. It was a scratching sound. Like something scraping against wood. I froze. My blood turned to ice. The scratching was rhythmic. Repetitive. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Pause. Like something was trying to get out. I walked toward the sound. My legs were heavy. My feet were slow. The scratching was coming from the bedroom. Her bedroom. The door was closed. I put my hand on the doorknob. It was cold. I turned it. I pushed the door open. The room was dark. The curtains were drawn. The only light came from the hallway behind me. I could see shapes. Furniture. A knocked-over lamp. Clothes everywhere. A chair broken against the wall. And the scratching. It was coming from under the bed. I dropped to my knees. My old joints cracked. I didn't feel the pain. I just leaned down. I looked under the bed. And I saw her. My Sarah. My baby girl. She was huddled in the corner under the bed. Her knees were pulled to her chest. Her hands were over her ears. Her eyes were closed. She was rocking back and forth. Back and forth. And her nails. Her fingernails. They were scraping against the floorboards. Over and over. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Pause. Her nails were broken. Bleeding. There were scratches in the wood. Deep grooves where she had been doing this for days. Sarah, I whispered. Oh my God. Sarah. She didn't look at me. She kept rocking. Kept scratching. She was shaking. Her whole body was trembling. I reached under the bed. I grabbed her hand. It was cold. So cold. She flinched. She tried to pull away. She was strong. Stronger than I expected. Baby, I said. It's me. It's Mom. You're safe. You're safe now. She stopped rocking. Her eyes opened. They were unfocused at first. Glassy. But then they focused on me. She looked at me. Really looked. Then she screamed. It was a horrible sound. A sound of pure terror. It came from deep in her chest. It was raw. It was primal. It was the sound of someone who had been broken. She scrambled out from under the bed. She crawled away from me. She hit the wall. She curled into a ball. She put her hands over her head. She was whimpering. Little pathetic sounds. Like a wounded animal. Get away, she said. Get away from me. Please. Please don't. Sarah, I said. It's me. It's your mother. I'm not going to hurt you. She looked at me again. The recognition flickered in her eyes. Her face changed. The terror faded. And then the tears came. Hot, desperate tears that poured down her cheeks. Mom, she said. I'm here, I said. I'm here, baby. She collapsed into my arms. She was so thin. So light. I could feel every bone in her back. Her ribs. Her spine. She was shaking violently. Soaking wet with sweat. Her skin was clammy. Pale. Mom, she sobbed. You have to go. You have to get out. I held her tighter. I rocked her like I did when she was a child. Shoo, I said. Shoo. It's okay. It's okay. No, she said. No, it's not okay. He'll be back. Who, I said. Who will be back? She pulled away from me. She looked into my eyes. Her pupils were huge. Dilated with fear. The man in the walls, she said. He's been here for 5 days. He won't let me leave. He won't let me call anyone. I felt the blood drain from my face. The man in the walls. What did that mean? He lives in the walls, she said. He watches me. He comes out at night. He scratches. Always scratching. He won't stop. He never stops. I looked at the walls. The bedroom walls. Beige paint. Nothing unusual. But something had her terrified. Something real. Something she believed in. I heard him, she whispered. Under the bed. In the walls. He's everywhere. You need to go, Mom. Before he comes back. I read at my daughter. She was in shock. She was traumatized. She was broken. She needed help. But there was something else in her eyes. Something beyond the fear. Something that told me she wasn't making this up. Something was in this house. And we had to get out. Chapter 2. I pulled Sarah to her feet. She was weak. So weak. Her legs buckled underneath her, and I had to catch her. My arms strained. I was 72 years old. My back ached. My knees screamed. But I held her. I held her up. We need to get you out of here, I said. We need to get you to a hospital. She shook her head frantically. No. No, we can't go out there. He'll see us. He's watching. Who is watching? Ra, who is this man? She sta rude, crying again. Her sobs were ragged. They tore out of her throat. I don't know who he is. I don't know his name. He came in through the window. 3 nights ago. No, 4. I don't remember anymore. The days all blend together. I don't know what day it is. It's Saturday, I said. It's Saturday morning. She looked at me with hollow eyes. Saturday. That meant 5 days. 5 days since she last talked to anyone. 5 days since she had any human contact except for the man in the walls. Has he hurt you? I asked. She looked away. That told me everything I needed to know. Baby, I said. Look at me. Has he hurt you? She nodded. A tiny broken nod. A nod that made my heart shatter into 1,000 pieces. Where is he now? I asked. My voice was shaking. But I kept it steady. I had to be strong for her. I had to be the rock. I don't know, she said. He leaves sometimes. He goes into the walls. I hear him scratching. That's how I know he's coming back. He disappears for hours. But he always comes back. He always comes back to the scratching. I looked around the bedroom. The window was closed. The curtains were drawn tight. The closet door was open. I could see her clothes hanging inside. Nothing seemed out of place except the chaos in the room itself. The knocked-over lamp. The broken chair. The clothes everywhere. The walls, I said. What do you mean he goes into the walls? She pointed to the hallway. There's a panel, she said. In the hallway. A crawl space. I didn't know it was there until he came through it. He climbed out of the wall like a spider. He stood over my bed. He watched me sleep. I woke up, and he was just standing there. Looking at me. I felt sick. The metallic smell I'd noticed in the kitchen. I'd thought it was the rotting meat. But it was something else. Something worse. Stay here, I said. Don't move. I'm going to check the hallway. No. She grabbed my arm. Her grip was strong. Surprisingly strong for someone who hadn't eaten in days. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me alone. He might be in the walls right now. He might be listening. He might be watching. She was right. I couldn't leave her alone. Not like this. Not with her so terrified. But I needed to see for myself. I needed to confirm what she was telling me was real. And if I found that crawl space, if I found proof that someone had been living in her walls, I needed to get her out of that house immediately. Okay, I said. We'll go together. But we have to be quiet. Can you be quiet? She nodded. She was still crying, but she was trying to control herself. She took a deep, shuddering breath. I could see her teeth chattering. Her whole body was shaking. I led her out of the bedroom. We crept into the hallway. The static from the TV was still blaring in the living room. It filled the house with white noise. It was loud. Annoying. But it covered any sounds we might make. Ra pointed to the wall. There, she whispered. It's right there. I looked. The wall was perfectly normal. Beige paint. A few scuff marks. A nail where a picture used to hang. I didn't see anything unusual. Then I looked closer. There was a seam. A faint line in the paint. Almost invisible. I ran my hand over it. I could feel a gap. A small rectangular panel. It was painted the same color as the wall, but it was slightly recessed. I pressed on it. The panel moved. There was a latch. A simple hook and eye latch. I unhooked it. I pulled the panel open. The darkness inside was absolute. I couldn't see anything. I could smell it though. Stale air. Sweat. Beige. Body odor. And that metallic smell. It was stronger now. Much stronger. I reached into my pocket. I pulled out my phone. I turned on the flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness. The crawl space was small. Just big enough for a person to crouch in. There were blankets on the floor. Dirty blankets. Stained. There were empty water bottles. Fast food wrappers. A bag of chips. A pile of clothes. A knife. The knife was covered in blood. And there was a photograph. A Polaroid. I picked it up. My hands were shaking. I could be hold the phone still. It was a photo of Ra. Sleeping in her bed. Taken from inside the crawl space. The angle was wrong. It was taken at night. She was wearing her pajamas. She looked peaceful. Anaeri. She had no idea she was being watched. I flipped the photo over. There was writing on the back. In red ink. It was just one word. Mine. I heard a sound behind me. A soft creak. I spun around. The kitchen. Someone was in the kitchen. Sarah grabbed my arm. Her nails dug into my skin. He's back, she whispered. He's back. I pushed her behind me. I had no weapon. Nothing but my phone and my fists. I was 72 years old. My hands were shaking. But I was her mother. I would die for her. The creaking stopped. Then I heard footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Someone was walking through the kitchen. They were stepping carefully around the broken glass. I could hear the crunch. The crunch of glass under shoes. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. My heart was pounding in my ears. The footsteps stopped at the entrance to the hallway. I couldn't see who was there. The hallway was too dark, but I could feel them. I could feel their eyes on me. I could feel their presence like a weight on my chest. Who's there? I called out. My voice sounded braver than I felt. No answer. The only sound was the static from the TV. It was loud. It was deafening. It filled every corner of the house. I heard a soft laugh. Low. Creepy. A man's laugh. It made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Then the scratching started again. Right behind me. Inside the wall. I spun around. The crawl space was empty. But the scratching was coming from inside it. From deeper inside the wall. Like someone was crawling through the framework of the house. Scraping against the wood. Getting closer. Getting louder. I grabbed Sarah. I pulled her toward the front door. The back door, I said. We go out the back. No, she said. He'll follow us. He always follows. I didn't see a re. I wasn't going to stay in that house for one more second. We ran through the kitchen. I stepped on broken glass. I felt it cut through my shoe. I felt the sharp pain. But I kept going. I didn't stop. The back door was still open. We burst through it into the rain. The rain was still falling. Rider now. The cold drops hit my face. It felt good. It felt like waking up. We ran across the backyard road. The grass was slick. The mud was deep. I didn't see a re about my knee. I didn't see a re about my age. I just ran. I led her to my car. I fumbled with my keys. I dropped them twice. My hands were shaking too much. Finally, I got the door open. I shoved Sarah into the passenger seat. I jumped into the driver's seat. I locked the doors. I started the car. The engine coughed. It sputtered. I put it in reverse. I backed out of the driveway. The house loomed in my rear view mirror. Dark, silent. Rain streaming down its windows. But then I saw a shape in the window. A figure. A man. He was just standing there, watching us leave. He was tall, thin, gaunt. He had dark hair. Dark eyes. He was wearing a black jacket. And he was smiling. I slammed on the gas. The tires squealed. The car shot four-way road. I drove as fast as I could. I didn't look back. I couldn't look back. I just drove. Sarah was quiet in the passenger seat. She was shivering. Even with the heat on full blast, she was shivering. She had her arms wrapped around herself. Her eyes were wide. Staring straight ahead. She didn't blink. She didn't move. She was in shock. We're going to the hospital, I said. You're going to get help. She didn't respond. She just kept staring. Sarah, I said. Did you hear me? We're going to the hospital. I can't go to the hospital, she said. Her voice was flat. Hollow. He'll find me there. He always finds me. He's not going to find you, I said. He doesn't know where we're going. He's back at your house. We left him there. He knows everything, she said. He knows where I am. He always knows. I didn't argue. I just drove. The rain was coming down rider now. The windshield wipers couldn't keep up. I could be a see the road. But I kept going. I had to. The hospital was 30 minutes away. The closest one. A small community hospital. It was busy. The emergency room was full of people. Saturday night. Drunks. Car accidents. A woman screaming about a spider bite. We sat in the waiting room for 3 hours. I kept looking over my shoulder. I kept expecting to see him. To see that tall, thin figure walking through the doors. To see that smile. But he never came. The doctors took Sarah back eventually. They gave her fluids. They cleaned the cuts on her hands. Her fingernails were a mess. Broken. Bleeding. They had to trim them. They had to bandage her fingers. She had scratches on her back too. Deep ones. Long ones. Like she'd been clawed. The doctors asked questions. I answered as best I could. I told the police what had happened. I gave them Sarah's address. I told them about the crawl space. The knife. The photograph. The man in the window. They sent officers to check the house. They called me back 2 hours later. Ma'am, the officer said. There's no one there. We checked the entire house. Every room. Every closet. There's no crawl space. No signs of forced entry. No blankets. No knife. No photograph. That's impossible, I said. I saw it. I saw all of it. Ma'am, I'm sorry. But the house is empty. The back door was broken. But that's it. There's no evidence that anyone else has been there. I thought about the back door. The broken glass. I had shattered it. I had reached through and unlocked the door. But I remembered now. The glass had been broken from the inside. The Shaw RDS were on the ground outside. That meant someone had broken it from the inside. Someone had broken it to get out. Had the man broken it when he left? Had he been in the house the whole time? Had he been hiding somewhere while the police urged? My blood ran cold. I was about to ask the officer more questions when my phone rang. It was the hospital. Sarah was gone. Chapter 3. The words hit me like a physical blow. I felt the world tilt beneath my feet. Everything went fuzzy for a moment. The hospital waiting room spun around me. I had to grab the wall to keep from falling. My phone slipped from my fingers. It clattered on the linoleum floor. I bent down to pick it up. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold it. I pressed it to my ear again. What do you mean she's gone? I yelled. My voice echoed in the waiting room. People turned to stare at me. I didn't see Ari. She was in the hospital. She was sedated. She was safe. The nurse on the other end sounded flustered. I'm sorry, ma'am. She left her room sometime in the last hour. She said she needed to use the bathroom. She must have gone out the window. There's a fire escape. A fire escape. She went out the window. My daughter climbed out a hospital window and disappeared into the night. She was in no condition to be out there. She was weak. She was dehydrated. She was traumatized. She could barely stand. And she had gone out a window. I knew where she was going. She was going back to the house. Back to him. Back to the man in the walls. She thought she had to go back. She thought she was protecting me. Protecting everyone. She had Stockholm Syndrome. She had bonded with her captor. She thought she needed him. I'm coming right now, I said to the nurse. If she calls, if she comes back, you tell her to stay put. You tell her I'm on my way. You tell her I love her. I hung up. I didn't wait for the nurse to respond. I ran to my car. I drove through the rain. The rain was worse now. It was a deluge. A torrent. The roads were flooded in some RTS, water pooled in the low spots. I had to take detours. I had to drive through neighborhoods I didn't recognize. I got lost twice. I had to pull over and look at my phone to find my way back. I was crying. I couldn't stop. The TRS blurred my vision. I wiped them away with my sleeve. The image of S.A. Ross' face kept flashing in my mind. The terror. The hollow eyes. The way she had curled into a ball in the corner. The way she had screamed when she saw me. She was so broken. So damaged. And I had let her get away. I got to her house at midnight. The rain had finally stopped. The clouds had parted. The moon was out. It cast an eerie glow over the neighborhood. Everything was wet. Everything glistened. Her street was empty. All the houses were dark. Everyone was asleep. Everyone except the man in the walls. But S.A. Ross' house was not dark. There were lights on. All of them. The living room. The kitchen. The bedroom. Even the bathroom. Every light in the house was blazing. I parked in the driveway. The garage door was open. Her car was gone. She must have taken it. She must have driven herself back here. I didn't know how she managed it. She was so weak. So fragile. But she had done it. I ran to the front door. It was unlocked. I pushed it open. The smell hit me again. The rotting meat. The metallic smell. It was stronger now. Worse. I gagged. I covered my mouth with my hand. The living room was a mess. More of a mess than before. The couch had been overturned. The cushions were on the floor. The TV was still on. Still static. The sound was deafening. Hissing and crackling. The coffee table was broken. The lamp was shattered. Glass everywhere. And I heard the scratching. Loud. Desperate. Coming from the bedroom. Sa I called out. Sa are you there? She didn't answer. The scratching continued. Faster now. More frantic. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Like she was trying to dig through the wall with her bare hands. I walked down the hallway. The walls had more pictures. More photos of Sa. They were crooked. Some of them were on the floor. The glass on one of them was shattered. I stepped over it. I kept walking. The door to the bedroom was open. I could see inside. The room was destroyed. The bed was overturned. The mattress was on the floor. The sheets were everywhere. The pillows were torn open. Feathers floated in the air. Sa was in the corner. She was crouched against the wall. Her hands were over her ears. Her eyes were closed. She was rocking back and forth, scraping her nails against the wall. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Her nails were bleeding again. The bandages were gone. She had torn them off. Sa I said. What are you doing? She looked up at me. Her eyes were wild, unfocused. He's in the walls, she said. He won't leave. He won't stop. He just keeps scratching. It never stops. It's always in my head. I can't make it stop. I grabbed her. I pulled her away from the wall. We're leaving, I said. Now. We're never coming back. No. She screamed. She tried to pull away. We can't leave. He'll be alone. He'll have no one. He'll be so lonely. What are you talking about? I yelled. He's a monster. He hurt you. He kept you prisoner in your own home for 5 days. He watched you while you slept. He took photos of you. He threatened you. He's not lonely. He's dangerous. He needed me, she said. She was crying now. Sobbing. He told me. He said he'd been alone for so long. He needed someone to talk to. He needed a friend. He said I was the only one who ever treated him like a person. Sa I said. I grabbed her shoulders. I shook her. He's a sick man. He's a criminal. He doesn't need a friend. He needs to be locked up. She looked at me. Something in her eyes changed. Some of the chaos settled. The wildness faded. She blinked. She looked around the room. She looked at the destruction. She looked at her bleeding fingers. What am I doing? She whispered. I don't know, I said. But we're going to get you help. Real help. We're going to the police. We're going to tell them everything. They'll protect you. They'll put him away. She shook her head. They won't believe me. No one believes me. They think I'm crazy. The police didn't find anything. The doctors think I'm delusional. No one believes me. I believe you, I said. I believe you, baby. I saw the crawl space. I saw the knife. I saw the photograph. I know he's real. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you. But we have to leave. Now. Please. She looked into my eyes. She searched my face. She was looking for something. Reassurance. Love. Safety. I gave it to her. I held her gaze. I didn't look away. Okay, she said. Okay. Let's go. I pulled her to her feet. She was shaky. Unsteady. I put my arm around her waist. I supported her. We walked out of the bedroom. The scratching stopped. The house went silent. Deathly silent. The only sound was the static from the TV. It filled the house with white noise. It was almost peaceful. But I knew it wasn't over. I knew he was still in there. Watching. Waiting. We got to the front door. I opened it. The cold night air hit my face. It smelled like wet earth and fresh rain. I almost cried with relief. We were almost out. We were almost free. And then I saw him. He was standing on the front lawn. He was tall. Thin. Gaunt. His face was pale. His eyes were dark. He was wearing a black jacket and jeans. Both were covered in dirt. He looked like he had crawled out of a grave. He was holding a knife. The same knife I'd seen in the crawlspace. The one covered in blood. The blade glinted in the moonlight. Hello, S.A. Ra, he said. His voice was low, smooth, almost pleasant. I see you brought a friend. S.A. Ra screamed. A raw primal sound. She tried to run. She tried to pull me away. But I held my ground. I stepped in front of her. I put myself between her and him. Don't come any closer, I said. My voice was steady. Surprising. The police are on their way. He laughed. A low rattling sound. No, they're not. You haven't called them. I would have heard you. You've been too busy running. Who are you, I said. What do you want? He tilted his head. His neck cracked. It was unnerving. Like a puppet. I just wanted someone to talk to, he said. Someone to keep me company. The walls get so quiet at night. Then leave my daughter alone, I said. She didn't do anything to you. But she did, he said. She moved in. She made the house warm. She made it a home. I was living there first. I was in the walls before she even knew the house existed. It was my home. And she took it from me. Your home, you were living in the walls. The previous owners built the crawl space, he said. I was there. I slept there. I ate there. But then they sold the house. And she moved in. And she took everything from me. You could have left, I said. You could have found somewhere else to live. He smiled. His teeth were yellow. Broken. Crooked. But I didn't want to leave, he said. I wanted her to stay. She was so pretty. So nice. She talked to me. Not directly, of course. She didn't know I was there. But she talked to her friends. She laughed. She sang. I liked hearing her sing. She didn't know you were listening, I said. That's sick. That's wrong. Maybe, he said. But I loved her. I loved her so much. I wanted her to love me back. And you thought hurting her would make her love you. The smile faded from his face. His eyes grew cold. She wasn't supposed to be SCA red, he said. She was supposed to understand. I was trying to protect her. I came to her bed at night to make sure she was safe. I watched over her while she slept. That's what lovers do. She's not your lover, I said. She's my daughter. And if you come any closer, I swear to God, I will kill you. He laughed again. Louder this time. A maniacal sound. You're old. You're weak. You can't stop me. He took a step four-way road. The knife was raised. I could see it glinting in the moonlight. I could see his face. The madness in his eyes. The hatred. And then the sirens sta root. They were faint at first. Distant. But they grew louder. Faster. Lights flashed in the distance. Red and blue. They were coming fast. Multiple cars. The man looked up. His face contorted with rage. He turned to S.A. Ra. You called them, he said. You betrayed me. She shook her head. No. I didn't call anyone. But I had. When we were walking through the house. When I heard the scratching stop. I had put my hand in my pocket. I had hit the emergency call button on my phone. I didn't know if it was working. I didn't know if it would connect. But it must have worked. The police cars pulled up. They surrounded the house. Officers jumped out. Guns drawn. Flashlights blinding. The man raised his knife. He looked at me. Then at S.A. Ra. Then at the police. He smiled. A sad smile. Broken. Let her go, an officer yelled. Drop the weapon. The man laughed. But it was a sad laugh. Broken. I was never going to hurt her, he said. I just wanted her to stay. He dropped the knife. It clattered on the wet grass. He raised his hands. He didn't fight. He didn't run. He just stood there. Waiting. The police SWA met him. They pushed him to the ground. They cuffed him. They read him his rights. They dragged him to a squad car. I wrapped my arms around S.A. Ra. She was shaking. Sobbing. I held her tight. I rocked her. I told her it was okay. I told her it was all over. I'm so sorry, she said. I'm so sorry, Mom. Don't be sorry, I said. It's okay. It's all over. But it wasn't over. Not really. Not for S.A. Ra. Not for me. Not for any of us. Chapter 4. The police took Daniel away. That was his name. Daniel. A simple name for a man who had done terrible things. They drove him to the station. They booked him. They put him in a cell. They told us we could go home, but we couldn't go home. Not to my house. Not to S.A. Ross' house. Not anywhere. We were both broken. Both shattered. S.A. Ra needed help. Real help. The kind I couldn't give her. The kind that required doctors and therapists and medication. They put her in the psychiatric ward. A locked unit. She couldn't leave. She couldn't hurt herself. She was safe. But she was still terrified. She still flinched at every sound. She still looked at the walls. She still listened for the scratching. I stayed with her. I slept in a chair next to her bed. I held her hand while she slept. I watched her face. I watched her twitch. I watched her cry out in her sleep. I watched her wake up screaming. The doctors said she was suffering from acute stress disorder. She had all the symptoms. Flashbacks. Nightmares, hypervigilance. Avoidance. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't talk about what happened without breaking down. I sat with her. I talked to her. I told her stories from when she was little. I told her about the time she fell off her bike and scraped her knee. I told her about the time she got her first A on a test and ran home to show me. I told her about the time she sang in the school play and forgot her lines. I made her laugh. A tiny laugh. A broken laugh. But it was something. The police came to talk to me. They asked me questions. They wanted to know everything. When did I start worrying? When did I go to the house? What did I see? What did I hear? I told them everything. I told them about the scratching. The crawl space. The knife. The photograph. The man in the window. The man on the lawn. They nodded. They took notes. They told me Daniel had a criminal record. A long one. Breaking and entering. Assault. He had been arrested before. He had been in prison. He had been released. They told me he was a registered sex offender. He had been on the list for years. He had been living in the walls of S.A. Ross' house for 3 years. 3 years. Before she even bought the house. He had been there the whole time. Watching. Waiting. The previous owners had built the crawl space during a renovation. It was supposed to be a storage area. But they had sealed it up. They had covered it with drywall. They had painted over it. They had forgotten about it. Daniel found it. He broke through the drywall. He made it his home. He lived there. He slept there. He ate there. He watched the owners from inside the walls. He watched them live their lives. He watched them leave. Then S.A. Ra moved in. Young. Pretty. Vulnerable. She was perfect. She was everything he wanted. He watched her set up her home. He watched her decorate. He watched her CK. He watched her sleep. He wanted to be part of her life. He wanted to be close to her. So he sta root scratching. At first it was just a little sound. A scrape here and there. He wanted to see if she would notice. He wanted to see if she would investigate. She noticed. She heard the scratching. She thought it was mice. She called an exterminator. The exterminator found nothing. He told her the house was clean. He told her she was imagining things. Daniel laughed. He scratched harder. He scratched louder. He wanted her to know he was there. He wanted her to be curious. He wanted her to come looking for him. But she never did. She ignored it. She got used to it. She stopped hearing it. She stopped noticing. That made him angry. He wanted her attention. He wanted her to see him. He wanted her to love him. So he came out. He came out at night. He stood over her bed. He watched her sleep. He breathed in her air. He memorized her face. He took photographs. He did this for months. Months. S.A. Ra had no idea. She slept peacefully. She had no idea a monster was watching her every night. Then something changed. He got bored. He wanted more. He wanted to touch her. He wanted to hold her. He wanted her to know he existed. So he climbed out of the walls. He stood in her room. He waited for her to wake up. She did. She screamed. She tried to run. He grabbed her. He held her down. He told her to be quiet. He told her he loved her. He told her he was going to protect her. She fought. She clawed. She screamed. But he was stronger. He was bigger. He was faster. He held her. He pinned her to the bed. He told her to stop struggling. He told her it would be over soon. I couldn't listen anymore. I walked out of the room. I went to the bathroom. I threw up. I splashed cold water on my face. I looked at myself in the mirror. I looked old. I looked tired. I looked broken. My daughter had been assaulted. My daughter had been attacked. My daughter had been held captive in her own home for 5 days. 5 days. And I had been 45 minutes away. I had been sitting in my kitchen, drinking my coffee, waiting for her to call. I should have known something was wrong. I should have gone to her house sooner. I should have broken down the door on the first day. I should have never let this happen. But I didn't. I waited. I waited for her to call. I waited for her to text. I waited. I was a cow. I rode. I was a failure. I was the worst mother in the world. I went back to S.A. Ross' room. She was still in bed. Still shaking. Still crying. I sat down next to her. I took her hand. It's not your fault, she said. She looked at me with those hollow eyes. You didn't know. No one knew. No one could have known. I should have come sooner, I said. I should have called the police. I should have done something. You did something, she said. You came. You found me. You saved me. If you hadn't come, he would have. She couldn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. I held her. I held her and I rocked her and I promised her everything would be okay. I promised her I would never let anyone hurt her again. I promised her I would protect her. I promised her I would always be there. I kept those promises. Daniel went to trial. It was a long process. Months of hearings. Months of testimony. S.A. Ra had to testify. She had to sit in a courtroom and tell strangers what had happened. She had to relive every horrible moment. She had to look at him. She had to face her attacker. I sat in the front row. I held her hand. I let her squeeze my fingers until they went numb. I let her cry. I let her shake. I let her do whatever she needed to do. The jury found him guilty. On all counts. Kidnapping. Assault. Criminal confinement. Stalking. The judge gave him the maximum sentence. 25 years to life. He would be old when he got out. He might never get out. But it didn't matter. The damage was done. The damage would never go away. S.A. Ra went into long-term CA. She needed it. She had severe PTSD. She had anxiety. She had depression. She had nightmare residential every night. She couldn't function. She couldn't work. She couldn't leave her room. I visited her every day. I brought her flowers. I brought her books. I brought her magazines. I read to her. I watched TV with her. I just sat with her. It took a hour. A full hour before she could sleep through the night. A hour before she could eat a full meal. A hour before she could talk about what happened without crying. She STA root therapy. She STA root medication. She STA root to heal. Slowly. Painfully. But she STA root to heal. She moved out of the hospital. She got an apartment. A small one. On the second floor. No crawl spaces. No hidden panels. No walls that could hide a monster. She got a job. A new one. PART time. At a bookstore. She liked it. She was good at it. She liked helping people. She liked talking to customers. She liked the quiet. She STA root dating. A nice man. A kind man. He knew about her past. She told him everything. He didn't run away. He stayed. He was patient. He was gentle. He was loving. I met him. I approved. He was good for her. He made her smile. He made her laugh. He made her feel safe. She got my ride. Small ceremony. Just family. Just friends. I cried. I cried the whole time. I couldn't help it. She was so beautiful. She was so happy. She was so strong. She had a baby. A girl. A beautiful little girl with her mother's eyes. S.A. Ra named her Grace. She said it was because she felt grace. She felt she had been given a second chance. I look at my granddaughter and I feel hope. I feel love. I feel pride. But I also feel fear. I see the world through different eyes now. I know what people are capable of. I know how easily bad things can happen. I know how fragile safety is. I check the locks on SA Ross doors every time I visit. I check the windows. I check the closets. I check under the bed. It's a habit. A compulsion. I can't help it. SA Ra does the same thing. I see her do it. I see her check the walls. I see her listen for sounds. I see her flinch at unexpected noises. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about Daniel. We don't talk about the crawl space. We don't talk about the scratching. We don't talk about any of it. But it's always there. It's always in the back of our minds. It's always lurking. It's always waiting to resurface. Some nights I lie in bed and I think about him. I think about how he watched my daughter. I think about how he took photographs of her. I think about how he stood over her bed while she slept. I think about the knife. Covered in blood. Whose blood I never found out. I never asked. I didn't want to know. I think about the handwriting on the photograph. Mine. He had claimed her. He had marked her. He had made her his. But he was wrong. She wasn't his. She was never his. She was her own. She was strong. She was brave. She was a survivor. I look at her now. She's sitting on the couch. She's holding her baby. She's smiling. She's singing. She's happy. I see the scratches on her hands. They've healed. The scars are refaint. Almost invisible. But they're still there. They'll always be there. Just like the scratches on her soul. We all have scratches. We all have scars. We all have things that have hurt us. We all have things that have broken us. But we keep going. We keep living. We keep loving. Because that's what survivors do. That's what my daughter does. And I couldn't be more proud of her. Chapter 5. 3 years have passed. 3 years since the night I found my daughter under that bed. 3 years since I heard the scratching. 3 years since Daniel was dragged away in handcuffs. 3 years since my world fell apart and slowly, painfully, stitched itself back together. SA Ra is doing better now. Much better. She has a life again. A real life. She works at the bookstore 3 days a week. She loves it. She loves the smell of paper and ink. She loves recommending books to customers. She loves the quiet rhythm of the day. She loves coming home and telling me about her day. I listen. I always listen. I never take a single word for granted. Not anymore. She has a husband. His name is Tom. He is a good man. He is patient. He is kind. He loves my daughter with a fierceness that reminds me of the way I love her. He doesn't flinch when she has nightmares. He doesn't get impatient when she checks the locks 3 times before bed. He just holds her. He just waits. He just loves. They have Grace. My granddaughter. She is 2 years old now. She has SA Ross eyes. Big and brown and full of life. She has Tom's smile. Easy and warm and bright. She is the light of my life. She is the reason I get up in the morning. She is the reason I keep going. I watch her play in the backyard road. She runs through the grass. She chases butterflies. She laughs at nothing. She is innocent. She is pure. She is everything that is good in the world. I watch her mother watch her. I see the love in SA Ross eyes. The fierce, protective love. The same love I feel. The same love that drove me to break that glass. To climb that gate. To crawl on my hands and knees and look under that bed. I see the fear too. It's there. Buried deep. But it's there. It flickers sometimes. When SA Ra hears a noise she doesn't recognize. When she sees a shadow in the corner of her eye. When she tucks Grace into bed and checks the closet and checks under the bed and checks the window locks. I see the fear in the way she kisses Grace's forehead a second time. A third time. A fourth time. She doesn't want Grace to ever feel what she felt. She doesn't want Grace to ever be afraid in her own home. She doesn't want Grace to ever hear scratching in the walls and wonder if it's just mice or something worse. So she protects her. She protects her with every fiber of her being. Just like I protect her. I visit them every Sunday. I drive 45 minutes to their house. I bring Kais. I bring toys for Grace. I bring stories. I bring love. I sit on their porch and I watch the sunset and I talk to my daughter and I hold my granddaughter and I feel grateful. Grateful that we made it. Grateful that we survived. But there are moments. Moments when I catch myself. Moments when I realize I'm not as healed as I thought I was. Like last week. I was in the grocery store. I was buying milk. I heard a sound behind me. A scraping sound. A grocery cart with a broken wheel. It was dragging across the linoleum. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Pause. I froze. My heart stopped. My hands rude shaking. I dropped the milk. It shattered on the floor. White liquid everywhere. People turned to look at me. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I just stood there. Frozen. Listening to that sound. It took me a full minute to realize where I was. To realize I was safe. To realize the scratching was just a cart. Just a stupid broken cart. It wasn't Daniel. It wasn't the walls. It was a cart. I walked out of the store. I left the milk. I left the groceries. I got in my car and I drove to S.A. Ross' house. I didn't call ahead. I just showed up. She took one look at my face and knew. She knew without me saying a word. She hugged me. She held me. She told me it was okay. She told me I was safe. She told me he was gone. I cried. I cried in my daughter's arms. I cried like I hadn't cried in years. I cried for all the fear, all the pain, all the what ifs. I cried until there was nothing left. Sarah didn't judge me. She just held me. She just let me cry. She understood. She understood better than anyone. I think about Daniel sometimes. Not often. But sometimes. I think about where he is. I think about what he's doing. I think about whether he's still scratching in his cell. Whether he's still scraping his nails against the walls. Whether he's still thinking about Sarah. Whether he still has her photograph hidden somewhere. I think about his face. His pale, gaunt face. His dark eyes. His broken smile. I see it in my dreams sometimes. I see him standing on the lawn. I see the knife. I see the smile. But then I wake up. And I'm in my bed. And I'm safe. And Sarah is safe. And Grace is safe. And everything is okay. The trial is over. The sentence is done. Daniel is in prison. He will be there for a long time. 25 years to life. He was 43 when he was arrested. He'll be 68 when he's eligible for parole. He might die in there. He might not. I don't see either way. What I see about is my family. My daughter. My granddaughter. My son-in-law. They are my world. They are my reason for living. They are everything. I still go to S.A. Ross' old house sometimes. Not inside. I can't go inside. I can't even drive down that street without my hands shaking. But I drive past it sometimes. I look at it. I see it sitting there. Empty. For sale. No one wants to buy it. The real estate agent told Sarah the house has bad energy. People can feel it. They walk in and they feel the fear. They feel the scratching. They feel the presence. Sarah sold it for a loss. She just wanted it gone. She wanted to wash her hands of it. She wanted to never think about it again. But I think about it. I think about the crawl space. The blankets. The water bottles. The knife. The photograph. I think about how close I came to losing her. How close she came to being taken from me. I think about the scratches on the floor. The scratches on the wall. The scratches on her hands. The scratches on her soul. They are all still there. They will always be there. But they don't define her. She defines herself. She has built a life out of the ashes. A beautiful life. A good life. A life filled with love and laughter and hope. I watch her play with Grace. I watch her read to Grace. I watch her sing to Grace. I watch her put Grace to bed. She does it so carefully. So gently. So lovingly. And I know she is okay. I know she will be okay. I know we will both be okay. Because we have each other. We have love. We have hope. We have strength. And we have the determination to never let the monsters win. There is one thing I haven't told Sarah. One thing I haven't been able to say. I kept it to myself. I kept it buried deep inside. But I think about it every day. When I broke into her house that Saturday. When I crawled on the floor and looked under that bed. When I saw her huddled there. Scratching. Rocking. Broken. I made a promise. A silent promise. I promised myself that I would never let anything like that happen to her again. I promised myself that I would protect her. I promised myself that I would be her shield, her sword, her guardian. But I failed. I failed her. I should have come sooner. I should have called the police earlier. I should have listened to my gut. I should have trusted my instincts. I was sitting in my kitchen for 5 days. 5 days. Drinking my coffee. Waiting for her to call. While she was being tortured. While she was being held captive. While she was being assaulted. I will never forgive myself for that. I will never let go of that guilt. It is a weight I carry every single day. A weight I will carry to my grave. But I also know that guilt is useless. Self-loathing is useless. What happened happened. I can't change it. I can't undo it. I can only move four-way road. I can only be there for her now. I can only love her now. I can only protect her now. And that is what I do. Every single day. I show up. I call. I visit. I listen. I hold her. I love her. I am there. That's all I can do. That's all any of us can do. We can't change the past. We can't erase the scars. We can't take away the pain. But we can love. We can support. We can be present. We can show up. I think about the scratches. The scratches on the floor. The scratches on the walls. The scratches on her hands. I think about what they represent. Pain. Fear, trauma. Desperation. But I also think about what they represent now. Survival. Strength. Resilience. Courage. My daughter survived. My daughter is strong. My daughter is a survivor. And I am so proud of her. I look at her now. She's in the kitchen. She's baking pies with grace. Flour is everywhere. Sugar is everywhere. They are re-laughing. The sound fills the house. It fills my heart. I walk into the kitchen. I grab an apron. I grab a mixing bowl. I join them. I am 75 years old. My knees ache. My hands shake. My eyesight is failing. But my heart is full. Full of love. Full of gratitude. Full of hope. I look at my daughter. I look at my granddaughter. I look at the kitchen filled with flour and sugar and laughter. I look at the life we have built. The life we have reclaimed. And I know we are going to be okay. We are survivors. We are strong. We are family. We are going to be okay. There is a little thing I do now. Every night before I go to bed. I go to my front door. I make sure it's locked. I go to my windows. I make sure they're locked. I go to my closet. I make sure it's empty. I go to my bed. I look under it. I make sure it's empty. I know it's silly. I know I'm safe. I know Daniel is in prison. I know there is no one in my walls. But I do it anyway. I do it because I can. I do it because it gives me peace. I do it because it reminds me that I am safe. I am protected. I am loved. I think about the scratching. The sound that haunted me. The sound that terrified me. The sound that almost broke me. But I also think about the silence that came after. The silence of relief. The silence of rescue. The silence of safety. Scratching is just a sound. It can't hurt me. It can't hurt my daughter. It can't hurt my granddaughter. It is just a sound. And I will not let it control me anymore. I am a survivor. My daughter is a survivor. We are survivors. And we are going to keep surviving. Together. Always together. And that's what I want to leave you with. The scratches are still there. They're in the wood of S.A. Ross' old bedroom floor. Probably still there even now, in that empty house no one will buy. They're on the walls of the crawl space, 1,000 tiny grooves from his nails, from his obsession, from his sickness. And they're on our souls. S.A. Ross and mine. Little scars that we carry every day. But the scratches don't win. They don't define us. They don't own us. What defines us is what we did after. We got up. We walked out that door. We drove away. We rebuilt. We made a new life. We kept loving. We kept trusting. We kept hoping. S.A. Ra married a good man. She had a beautiful baby girl. She found joy again. She found peace again. Not all the way, maybe. Not completely. But enough. Enough to live. Enough to laugh. Enough to be happy. And I'm still here. I'm 75 years old. I've got bad knees and shaky hands and failing eyesight. But I've also got a daughter who loves me and a granddaughter who calls me grandma and a son-in-law who treats me like his own mother. I've got a life. A good life. A life worth living. So if you're going through something to RK right now, if you're hearing scratching in your own walls, whatever those walls may be, if you're trapped and SCA red and alone, please know this. There is a way out. There is help. There is hope. You just have to reach for it. You just have to keep going. One step at a time. One day at a time. It doesn't go away. The fear are the memories. The SCARS. They stay with you. But they get smaller. They get softer. They get quieter. Until one day, you realize you went an hour without thinking about them. Then a day. Then a week. And that's when you know you're going to be okay. I look at my daughter now. She's standing in her kitchen, flour on her nose, Grace on her hip, laughing at something silly. The sun is streaming through the window. The house is warm. The house is safe. There are no scratches in these walls. There is no one hiding. I love her. I love her more than I ever thought possible. And I will protect her. For the rest of my life. I will be there. I will always be there. That's my promise. That's my vow. So here's what I want to say to you, whoever you are, wherever you are. If you've been through something terrible, if you've survived something unthinkable, I see you. I understand you. I am you. And I'm telling you, you can make it. You can heal. You can find joy again. Scratches heal. Hearts heal. People heal. It takes time. It takes work. It takes love. But it happens. I promise you, it happens. If you or someone you love is in danger, please get help. Call the police. Call a hotline. Call a friend. Don't wait. Don't wait like I did. Go now. Break the glass. Climb the gate. Look under the bed. Save them. Save yourself. Because no one should have to go through what my daughter went through. No one should have to feel that fear, that isolation, that despair. And no one should have to face it alone. We are stronger together. We are braver together. We are survivors together. And that's what I'll tell Grace when she's old enough to understand. I'll tell her about her mother's strength. I'll tell her about her mother's courage. I'll tell her about the scratches and the healing and the love that saved us all. I'll tell her that the monsters are real. But so are the heroes. And sometimes, the heroes are just mothers who refuse to give up. Who refuse to stop fighting. Who refuse to stop loving. That's my story. That's my daughter's story. That's our story. If it means something to you, if it touches you, please share it. Subscribe to this channel. And leave a comment below. Tell me your story. Tell me you're surviving too. Tell me I'm not alone. Tell me the scratches on your soul are healing too. Because healing is a lonely road. And we all need someone to walk it with us. We need to know we're not alone. So tell me. In the comments. Are the scratches healing for you too? Were you still fighting? Were you still surviving? I want to know. I need to know. We all need to know.